If you're a game developer who is just starting out, RPG Maker may be one of the best game creation platforms to get familiar with. RPG Maker game engine has a lot to offer for pros and beginners alike. As you'll see here in this video, we've handpicked 8 games that go above and beyond the apparent first-glance restrictions that RPG Maker seems to have, and shows you instead that your only limitation is your imagination. Without further ado, let's go down the rabbit hole. We are Ask Gamedev, aka It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, aka the curators of clean code, aka RPG Unit. And here are our picks for the 8 best RPG Maker games. Welcome back. If you're new to Ask Gamedev, we make videos to help you learn about the games industry so that you can elevate your games and inspire others. If you're on a game dev journey, consider subscribing. We'd love to help you along the way. And before we move on, if you'd like to chat about this video amongst your fellow subscribers, join us on Discord. Check out the description below for an invite link. Number 1. To the Moon by Freebird Games. Freebird Games' To the Moon is one of the first games that comes to mind when we think RPG Maker. Its in-depth, story-driven concept with the addition of puzzles and award-winning audio makes this RPG a unique gem. Don't expect too much gameplay. Instead, get prepared for the feels, as this game focuses on a story that is backed by a well-orchestrated narrative and music. The story follows 2 doctors who aim to give a dying man, Johnny in this case, his final wish to go to the moon. We'll not spoil the game for those who have yet to play. The original idea for this game actually came from Freebird Games founder Con Gao. When his grandfather became ill, Gao began to ponder one's regrets on their deathbed, which led to the eventual creation of To the Moon, which became the first commercial production for Freebird Games. Developed in 2010, To the Moon was later released for PC platforms Windows, Mac, and Linux. 2011 was the year where To the Moon really got noticed, taking home numerous awards in 2011, including GameSpot's Best Story, RPG Fan's Best Indie, IndieDB's Editor's Choice, and then IGF's 2012 Excellence in Audio. It's no wonder that To the Moon was later developed for Android and iOS. While this game may have received a bit of criticism for its intense focus on story instead of gameplay, we can safely say that To the Moon has wowed enough fans to be dubbed a success. 2. Finding Paradise by Freebird Games. Second on our list of top RPG Maker games is the follow-up to the Moon, Finding Paradise. Freebird Games followed the same story-driven mechanics as they did in To the Moon with this second release. The story and atmosphere are geared towards pulling at your heartstrings by wowing you with its beautiful music, unique concept, and life-changing puzzles, or at least life-changing for your patient. If you played To the Moon, we highly recommend checking out Finding Paradise and enjoying the addition of the new character customization feature. Released in 2017, Finding Paradise is available on Windows, Mac, and Linux. If this RPG follows the same line of success as To the Moon, then we won't be surprised if it also makes its way to Android and iOS in a future release. 3. Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass by Casey Ozimi. Moving on from Freebird Games, but not the feels, third on our list is Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass by Casey Ozimi. Another diamond in the rough, this PC RPG takes you through the overactive imagination of a boy named Jimmy. With an art style similar to that of the Nintendo title Earthbound, you can fully expect to have an adventure filled with family escapism, exploration, and transformation as you gain new forms to make use of. Within the imagination of 8-year-old Jimmy, you are set on a journey to stop a pulsating mass from corrupting and eventually destroying the dream world. Surprisingly, this game isn't a horror. Instead, it's filled with emotion-spurring interactions as Jimmy interacts with the individuals in his dream world. The original story of Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass was, according to developer Casey, going to be significantly shorter with many of the art components drawn with crayons. Thankfully, Casey opted to expand the game into something more with a focus geared towards exploration and the celebration of one's imagination. 4. Doom and Destiny by Heartbit Interactive. Number 4 in our top RPG Maker list, we have a slightly more traditional RPG that you may be familiar with, the infamous Doom and Destiny by Heartbit Interactive. a popular story of four nerd friends who end up inside a game and must complete challenges to find their way out. What really draws fans to this popular JRPG is the large variety of Easter eggs hidden throughout the game. With references to movies, memes, cliches, and of course other games, it's not difficult to find your own multitude of Easter eggs during gameplay. This JRPG was developed and released by Heartbit Interactive for nearly any platform you could hope to use, from Windows, Mac, and Linux to even mobile and console versions. The developers were definitely passionate about getting Doom and Destiny out there to as many fans as possible. 5. One Shot by Little Cat Feet. Number 5 on our list is a game called One Shot, developed by Little Cat Feet. The original version took only a month to develop and was released in 2014 as a freeware game. Developers Eliza Velasquez and Casey Gu had numerous inspirations for One Shot as they aimed to create an ambience that suited their metafictional world. Brought to Steam in 2016, you, the player, are considered to be a god. Your task is to help guide the cat-like person protagonist, Nico, to restore light to this metafictional world. Primary gameplay is focused on fetch quests and item-related puzzles. What makes this RPG unique is the out-of-game mechanics that you are required to implement for story progression. A good example of this interaction is moving the game window off-screen and back again to mimic the development of a film that occurs within the game itself. Given these mechanics, One Shot has been released for Windows and Mac only. The creators also strongly recommend the game be played in window mode rather than full screen. 6. Rakuen by Laura Shigihara. Number 6 is Rakuen by Laura Shigihara, which was released May 2017. While Laura's main career focus seems to have been composing for other studio games, she has shown endless bounds of her creativity and talent with the development of Rakuen. One of the first things we noticed about this RPG is the handwritten style text on an old-style chalkboard background. This type of graphic already sets you up for the feels as you connect with the protagonist. The story of Rakuen starts in a hospital. As a young boy, you explore the halls and meet other patients, during which you learn of their wishes. It turns out you can fulfill these wishes and bring happiness to the people around you by entering a parallel fantasy realm. Gameplay is filled with logic puzzles and item quests with no implementation of combat. Come on, you can't make a kid in the hospital fight. That's just mean. 7. Monster Garden by Zach Wood. On to number 7. Monster Garden by Zach Wood is a game that can be played through in less than an hour on PC, Windows, or Mac. So why did a short game make our top list? Though you can play and finish this RPG while dinner cooks, it will actually require multiple playthroughs to discover the multiple alternate paths, monsters, and endings. This RPG is a journey of exploration, acceptance, and friendship with unique graphics to fit. You get the feels in this game by the unrelenting acceptance of each monster, as friendships blossom and flaws are simply viewed as what makes each unique. Prepare for a few smiles in your exploration of the Monster Garden. Before we get to the final game on our list, which, if you know RPG Maker, you can probably already guess what it is, let's take a look at 3 upcoming RPG Maker games. Upcoming 1, 8-Bit Adventures 2 by Critical Games. First up, let's go to an RPG that will be a mix of modern and retro. 8-Bit Adventures 2 by Critical Games promises to be an RPG worth the wait. Expected to release in 2018, this 8-Bit Adventures The Forgotten Journey sequel promises to wow fans with an updated battle system, 7 playable characters, and a character-focused story. We are looking forward to this RPG and can't wait to see what it has to bring to the table of RPG Maker games. Upcoming 2, Pit of Evil by Frogmouth. Next on the upcoming list is Pit of Evil by Frogmouth. The game has been in development for a year, and the studio is proud to announce Pit of Evil as their first game on Steam. It promises to be a game of mystery filled with emotions, puzzles, and combat. The Pit of Evil story follows Barry, Arlene, and Nellie, who decide to visit the dreaded pit, a place where their other friend Finn has disappeared. As what usually happens in these types of stories, the team decides to spend the night when things take a frightening turn and Barry falls to the same fate as Finn. Discover the horrors inside the pit of evil as you try to make your way out. Upcoming 3. Echo by Nobody Studio. And finally, the third upcoming game is a JRPG that promises to be an exciting adventure. Echo features an opening movie to introduce you to the story of the game. Development began in 2009 and is still ongoing by Nobody Studio. Aside from a great story, puzzles, and combat, the creators have implemented a customizable skill tree with 50+ skills that will allow you to fully customize your combat style. And finally, at number 8, a game that needs no introduction, we have Lisa the Painful by Dingaling Productions. Unlike the others in our list, Lisa the Painful is a side-scrolling, rather than a top-down view, post-apocalyptic RPG with the requirement for a dark sense of humor. Developers call this RPG painful for a good reason. The only feels you may get from this game is humor and maybe a bit of horror. What makes Lisa the Painful unique is the visibility of consequences to every action you take. Example, if you sacrifice your character's arms or eyes, then your stats for losing those body parts are affected. You have the option of recruiting expendable party members as you travel from town to town, and yes, you can choose to keep them alive or risk their lives for personal gain. Currently, Lisa the Painful is available on PC platforms, Windows, Mac, and Linux. The game was designed, written, and composed by Austin Jorgensen and was renamed from a previous freeware version when it was released December of 2014. The funding for this project came from Kickstarter with the goal of $7,000. However, thanks to the enormous amount of dark humor supporters, Austin was able to raise little over $16,000, which then allowed him to go on to create an additional game. But that is for another time. For now, we've reached the end of our top 8 list. And there you have it. RPG Maker is a great platform for your ideas, whether you're a beginner or an experienced pro. With these 8 games, we have done our best to show you the different style types available with this game engine. You're only limited by your creativity and determination. Thanks for watching. We are Ask Gamedev, and we make game development videos on how to elevate your games and inspire others. We publish new content every week, so consider subscribing and hit the bell below to be notified as soon as a new video is available. Want more Ask Gamedev? Check out this other engine showcase video or this game engine playlist.